Boys, we've hit the season. South Florida, rainy season, day in, day out, rain on and off, on and off. Now, I had scheduled myself with a couple boys and my old man for today to be the day that we finally lock the rear tub into place, put the panels back on, and put this car back on the ground, and hopefully maybe the next day or so, take it for a ride. Now, the rain isn't gonna stop us from working on it, but it is gonna add an element of disaster in this garage. Typically with components as big as your entire rear back half of the car, it's easier to just kind of carry them out, put them on the garage floor, on the driveway floor, so you still have space to move around, especially with people. But it's not supposed to stop raining all day, and I'm not gonna stop building this car. So we're dropping the garage door, taking these parts off, using a little bit of space that I'm standing on here, and we're gonna get this tub put on this car today, whether we like it or not. Let's get going.
Well, there you guys have it. A short and sweet one. It wasn't designed to be a how to remove or add the tub. Some things that people have asked me in the comments of the videos and in my DMs on Instagram is how was the gluing process of re-putting in the tub? Now you could see from the B-roll footage, we had to cut out a lot of the original panel bond that was there. We did leave spots so we would have a similar level to what the OEM spec was. So we left areas for guidance. Now, as for re-gluing the panel bond back on the car, we actually went a completely different route. I am by no means recommending this to anyone with a C6. I did this for one specific reason, is because my tub had to come out. And the only way my tub was coming out of the old car was to beat it up and get it out of the car. Now, certain shops are a bit more experienced at it. They can do what they did, which is where I bought one from, which is Miami Corvette parts, where they can remove the tub meticulously and slowly enough where the tub doesn't sacrifice too much damage. But even this one had a little bit of damage from them removing it from the original panel bond. So not that I intend to back this car into the wall again, but what I realized while the tub was out was that when the tub is out, you can, one, avoid the common known issue of when the fuel pump fails, you basically got to cut an access hatch in your trunk or drop the rear subframe. So with the rear tub out, I can obviously access that, the sensors, the trans, the diff. I obviously serviced the diff while I was exposed. So we went with the route of actually rivet nutting the tub back onto the car. So instead of using panel bond, which is a permanent solution, we basically drilled into the aluminum frame. It put in some rivet nuts and then Loctited with blue Loctite some screws. And we basically ran about 12 in the lower body of the car and then a few on the Halo version as well. This way, God forbid something happens in the rear end, I got to do something. I now have the option of either dropping the subframe or basically removing the rear tub, which you can do with the fenders on the car pretty easily. So choosing, I get options to choose. So again, not a recommendation for anyone to go ahead and do it. Now, if you're in that situation like I was, it is something that you can factor in. But we did rivet nut it in instead of going the old panel bond route. Outside of that, when we were putting the car back together, you don't see it in all the clips, but we basically had to remove the tub, put the tub back on, remove the tub, put the tub back on, remove the tub, put the tub back on, to try to finally to get it to align, essentially focusing on the doors, panel gaps to the rear quarter. The driver's side and the passenger side were both equally fighting us. We got to a point where the driver's side was pretty decent, but the passenger side, which is obviously the side that took the hit, was fighting us a bit more. We did some trimming. We adjusted some areas. We were finally able to get the tub to align. Once we got the tub to align where the panel gaps were acceptable, we went ahead and mocked where we were going to pinpoint the tub onto the frame. We drilled, and then we put the rivet nuts on and bolted it back into that place. The next steps were basically putting the fenders and everything back on the car and realigning it. What's left now is essentially basically dialing everything in. Now, the car is physically put back together in the sense of everything exteriorly looks like it's put back together. The rear bumper's back on. You've seen the video that I'm missing some taillights. The taillights are back in. Everything is back in place. There is fine tuning that's needed. I need to adjust my hatch a little bit. Need to see why my doors are now allowing a little bit of water in. That's not going to be impact related. I do believe there's a module in the back rear corner of the trunk that apparently controls the keyless entry and a few other things. I do have a feeling that it's related to that, because as you know, once you put your hand in the keyless entry on the C6 and you start dabbing with that button, you can see the windows jolt back and forth. That module is no longer working, because for me to access the inside of my car, I do have to unlock it first, then the module works. So got to get that module. Still waiting on a new apex wheel. So the apex wheel on the back right corner obviously took a hit. I don't believe it's bent, but I also haven't taken this car out on the road just yet. But it does have a pretty nasty lick on it. So I called up Apex. They do have a option of blemished wheels. So I went ahead and ordered a blemished one. Now, what's cool about Apex that I learned recently, thanks to a buddy on IG, Steve, was that they actually have a replacement program where if you go ahead and damage your wheel, you can get another wheel at 50% the price. You return your wheel, obviously, and they give you another one. But it does have to be within 2 years of purchase. These are 4 years within purchase. So I went with the blemish route. Reason being is my right front already has a nick also from loading it on the trailer. So my decision was keep these as my track set with a different set of tires and these set up that I'm not too worried about scratching them or banging them up or anything. And then get another roadworthy Apex setup that just kind of sits on this car in the interim time where the car's not out on track. That way I can have a more streetable tire than this far more aggressive tire that it has on it right now, the Supercar 3R. So we're pending that Apex wheel and little other small things that we need to get done. The driver's seat and the passenger seat are both still loose. I originally had a slider on the driver's side. The slider's gone. Now it's a fixed mount Apex AMT ultra low mount in there. I do have to adjust it for my position. And also I've had the Sparco 6-point seat harnesses here for quite some time, but I was too lazy to take the seats out now that I already did. it's time to put those harnesses in place, get them dialed. And then outside of that, it's the biggest thing that still looms over us, which is, yeah, the car looks fantastic, to be honest with you. I was fortunate to find some pretty good panels in pretty good condition. The hatch needs a little bit of a buff, but nothing out of this world. But the car still needs to get aligned, right? Now, I have the AMT kit on there, so technically my alignment should not move. But when you hit a wall when I spun, the speedometer said 60. By the time I hit the wall, I think the speedometer said 30, 35. But my wheels were also being slowed down by my brakes, but I was also on grass, so probably my momentum was a little bit higher. Things are going to move. So essentially, we want to make sure that we can get this car in a safe alignment spec that it can still go out on track. So we'll be scheduling that real soon. LG Motorsports just shipped out their bump steer tie rod kit for the rear. So as soon as that gets here, I'll install that, schedule my alignment with Apex Alignment down in South Miami, and finally figure out, is this car track worthy? But in the next video, we'll figure that part out. We'll see about the Apex Alignment. And until then, if you guys have any questions, drop a comment below or send me a DM on IG, which is Slow Joe Racing, just like my YouTube handle. And I appreciate you guys watching. Catch you in the next one. Peace.